Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a first look at Seawool's Solitaire, Battle of the Atlantic, 1939 to 1942, designed and the art by Javier Rubio Torres. This is his first design. This is available up on Amazon. I will have an affiliate link in the description. And let's get into this. This looks really interesting. And keep in mind, this is a first design. You're going to see, I think it's pretty impressive. Alrighty, let's dig into this. Nice title page. So let's talk about the basic structure of this book. You're going to have some introduction, talks about the book structure, some missions, dice pens, erasers, gets into some of the rules. That takes you to page 17. It's about 12 pages of rules. There are some, I don't want to call them advanced rules, but as you play through some of the scenarios, and it's going to add some additional rules, hello Missy, that deal with weather, escorts, and the Enigma machine. There's also a set of rules for campaign play, which I really like the way he's kind of broken this out. Nice font, easy to read. This is your typical page, well laid out. If you need some help, they've got QR codes to get to BGG. Very nice. I like that's a nice touch. We get into the rules. As you can see, very well illustrated with a number of examples. It's very clean, very clear, easy to read. And the rules are only about 12 pages long. When you get to page 17, it says you got the basics. And then there are a number of missions, as we'll see, where they'll add some of these additional rules. Weather, escorts, and the Enigma machine. I love the detail that he's put into this game and the way he introduces these additional concepts or rules. And then there's a set for campaign rules, which is kind of endless play. Deals with your torpedoes, your ship tables, and your logs. And we'll get into, you'll see that here in a little bit. Basic sequence of play. Hi, Missy. Cab seems to want to help this morning as usual. And the weather. So here's your typical mission. Starts off, gives you some detail about the history and the time frame. In this case, you're going to be commanding boat U-33. Gives you some history on the boat, and then gives you your mission. Victory conditions and defeat conditions. Very nice. The next 2 pages typically are where you're going to play your game. You got your map, which is color-coded, blue, yellow, red, which deals with the danger level. Now, one of the things that I brought up with Javier was these might be difficult on colorblind people to differentiate. They're kind of pastel-y in color. And one of my suggestions would be for the blue areas to leave it blank. Yellow, put a little dot, maybe a black dot with a white circle because you've got maybe some dots that are going to go over land. And then in the red, use 2 dots. And I did the same thing over here on the siding table. These colors don't really matter. It's just to differentiate because it's going to be based on your dice roll anyway. So that was one of the suggestions that I made. Another thing, and I didn't even notice this until I looked at the back of the book, but in this encounter map in red, there's a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very hard to read. I would change this to either black or white, make it a little bolder so we can read that. Most of my criticisms are going to be on the book layout, not so much the game. I think the game is fabulous at this point from what I've done. You'll notice we have our U-boat. And these tables are specific to this particular mission. And then every mission has read only if you reach this grid block. Now, I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to spoil anything. These are actual ships that were in the area during this time frame. And that was very well researched to pull that information up. And then events specific to this mission. Mission 2, you'll notice new rule, weather. So now weather has been introduced. We're still commanding boat U-33. And here's our mission again with the defeat conditions and some notes. What I like about this is it's a very specific mission tied back into history. And again, we get over into a map, slightly different map. Everything else is basically laid out the same. Okay, very nice. And again, for your eyes only, ship table and events. We now go to a third mission, and we're now in boat U-99. And you'll notice that each mission progressively goes through the war. Again, different map, slightly different encounter tables. And again, we're on boat U-99. Now we bring in escorts for mission 4. Still on boat U-99. Again, your eyes only over here. I haven't read those, and I'm not going to when I do a playthrough. I'm not gonna reveal anything. Again, map, U-99 on the 4th mission. 5th one, we actually go to the Mediterranean, and we're in boat U-75. What I like is as you progress through these missions kind of give you a sense of how these U-boats were used historically. So now we got the Mediterranean here. Again, you're starting to see the pattern, right? Now we add in the Enigma machine on 6. We're in yet a different U-boat. And I think every mission here, 6, 7, and 8 are different U-boats. Okay, 434. And this is part 1, and then 7 is part 2, and it still deals with, but we're in a different U-boat at this point, U-71. Okay, nice. And then the final one deals with the convoys doing the Lend-Lease with the Russians. So we go from the Atlantic to the Mediterranean to the North Sea. This is a very well laid out set of missions. And again, we're in a different boat, U-251 in this case. Now we get to the campaign. Again, your eyes only. The campaign allows for quite a bit of freedom when you're playing. You'll see this goes January, June 1940. We have our area here in the Atlantic. We get to name our U-boat. And basically, we go wherever we want. We get our encounters, and we're trying to just rack up as much tonnage as possible. There's no specific win condition or loss condition. Obviously, if you get sunk, that's kind of a loss. Take that L. And each time you go out and come back, that counts as 1 game month, I believe. And so this goes January through June. So you'd play 6 cruises here, right? January, February, March, April, May, June, 6. Got it right the first time. And so when I turn the page here, we now go July through December, same thing. And we're in the 7A. And then January of 1941, we go to the B, the 7B. And this will take us through July, December, January, June of 42, July, December, 42. And the maps will change. And there's a few other things here with some dice rolls. So each of these parts of the campaign are slightly different, which is nice. Here's a listing of the various merchant ships. And then you can create your own down here, which I like. Again, game resources. And then some designer notes. I love me the designer notes. So it talks about where you got all the information for the ships, which is kind of cool. I'm going to go check out that website. Now we get into some of our logs. Good, simple stuff, but very easy to look at, read. So you got your campaign logs, mission logs 1 through 8. So you can keep track each time you run through those missions and replay them. And then we get to the counters, and this is where I've got a couple of comments. So first off, you'll notice there's an edge up here and mine kind of got trimmed. That's really not Javier's fault. This is just part of cutting the books. But you have to be a master craftsman to cut these straight lines without ruining anything and fold it and glue everything. I made a suggestion that maybe the front is on one page and to space these counters with like 1/8 of an inch of white space or black space, I don't care, so that I have some variance when I'm cutting. Because if I can't cut a straight line here, I'm going to screw up a bunch of my counters, and it's just frustrating. All this is available online. This is not a real detractor from the game. It's just, in my eyes, if you want to take it to the next level on a production side of things, make it easier for the players to cut out these components. Now, I did tell this to Javier already, and he said that he was going to change some of the files to upload on BGG so that they're easier to cut out. And that's one of the awesome things about being able to connect with some of these people, and especially KDP or these print-on-demand books. Again, if he goes in and makes edits to this book, maybe changes the colorblind issue or addresses these counters, then going forward, anybody who buys the book is going to get those erratas already in the book. So I did share that information with him. And I guess you're going to be able to get print-on-demand counters. We'll see what those look like when they become available in the next week or so. Also gives you some maps so that you can design your own scenarios, which I think is very nice. Mediterranean and then North Sea area. And then some of your encounter maps. And this is where I discovered there were actually numbers here, because again, on the individual mission pages, I didn't even recognize them. They were kind of camouflaged. Anyway, guys, that's the book. It's for one player, difficulty 3 out of 5. And we'll see when I start playing it. 20 to 50 minutes seems about right based on the rules that I read. Again, this is his first design. There will be an affiliate link in the description to purchase this, and I'll get a few pennies if you do that, which thank you. But overall, I'm extremely impressed with this as a first effort. Yes, I have a couple of criticisms on the formatting, but it doesn't detract from the game whatsoever. And again, all of the resources are available online, so there's nothing that's going to stop you from getting this game, playing it, and enjoying it. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.